I swear on everything, on my dad's old leather boots, on the smell of his damn workshop, on the garage radio he never turned off, that I didn't wake up expecting my entire family to go nuclear on me that day. I thought a will reading was just a formality. You sit down, you listen to the lawyer drone through papers, you maybe cry a little, awkwardly hug your relatives, and then go home and sleep like someone dropped a brick on your soul. But nah, my mom had other plans. My sister too. And apparently so did my dead father. The morning of the reading, the sky looked like it was still half asleep. Gray, moody, refusing to make up its damn mind. I hadn't slept more than 3 hours, not because I was grieving, though God knows I was, but because Mom kept calling my phone at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and finally at 4:17 a.m. with urgent reminders. Dress nice. Don't be late. Don't make a scene. Don't talk too much. You know how these things go. And the kicker, just remember, it's better for the family if everything stays with me and your sister. You're young, you'll be fine. Young. I'm 29, Mom. Not 12. And fine? No, I was not fine. I was the opposite of fine. My dad had been the only damn person in that house who ever treated me like I mattered. Mom always had favorites. She never pretended otherwise. My sister, Kimberly, 2 years older, perfect grades, perfect hair, perfect smile, perfect marriage to a guy who looked like a tax auditor disguised as a human, was the chosen one. Born wearing a crown none of us could see but Mom polished daily. Me? I was the spare tire. The just-in-case kid. The one who was supposed to sit quietly and not inconvenience anyone with dreams or opinions. Still, I showed up. Dad would have wanted that. When I pulled into the law office parking lot, I felt like I'd driven into a storm cloud. Mom's car, a shiny black SUV she insisted she deserved, because of all she sacrificed, was already there. My sister's too, and of course, she parked perfectly, like she'd measured the lines with a ruler. I stepped out of my beat-up Honda, stretched, and tried not to feel like absolute crap. Dad always said, "Hold your shoulders back, kiddo. Don't let people walk into a room and think you're apologizing for existing." So I squared my shoulders, breathed in some courage, and walked inside. The lobby smelled like cheap coffee and old printer ink. Mom immediately zeroed in on me, scanning my jeans and button-up like I just walked in shirtless. "That's what you chose to wear?" she asked, lips tight. "Morning to you too," I muttered. She ignored that. Mom was world-class at ignoring things she didn't want to acknowledge. Emotions. Other viewpoints. Me. Kimberly walked over, fake smiled, and hugged me like I was a coworker she barely cared for. "You holding up?" she asked softly.
"I'm breathing."
"That's something," she said, but her eyes weren't actually looking at me. They were already calculating something, measuring, computing. She got that from Mom. The lawyer, Mr. Holbrook, met us at the doorway to his office. A short guy with a bald spot the size of a cereal bowl and a voice that sounded like someone smoothing out sandpaper. "Please come in," he said. "Let's begin." We sat around a long mahogany table. Mom sat at the head. Of course she did, crossing her legs with that "I'm in control" aura she carried like a badge. Kimberly sat beside her. I took the seat farthest from them, because the distance felt like oxygen. Mr. Holbrook opened a folder thick enough to be a college textbook. "As executor of your father's estate, I'm here to present his final will and testament," he began. "This document was updated 6 months ago. 6 months ago. Dad must have known something was coming. The heart attack had blindsided us all, but I guess it hadn't blindsided him." Mom raised her eyebrows at the word, "updated." Like she wasn't expecting that. "Interesting." Holbrook cleared his throat. "Your father begins with a message for all of you." Mom smiled. She probably thought she was about to be praised as the strong, hard-working queen of the household. Holbrook read, "To my family, if you're hearing this, I'm gone. But don't start crying yet. There's some things I need to say first. Some things I never said out loud." Kimberly sniffled. Mom dabbed the corner of her eye as if on cue. Holbrook continued, "First off, Mary, I love you, but we both know you and I didn't always see eye to eye on how we treated our kids." Mom's spine went rigid. Holbrook kept reading. Kimberly, you're responsible, reliable, and capable. But you've relied too much on your mother's approval, and not enough on your own damn heart. Kimberly blinked like she'd been slapped with a wet sponge. Holbrook took a breath, then read the part that made my jaw drop. And to my son, I'm proud of you, kiddo. More than you know. You built yourself from scratch, and you never demanded anything from me. You worked harder than both of them combined, and you never got the recognition you deserved. You're stronger than you think. My stomach twisted, my chest tight. Dad never talked like that in front of them. He saved most of his real soft stuff for quiet moments in the workshop, handing me tools and advice without ever looking me directly in the eye. That was his love language. Mom shifted in her seat. Discomfort splashed across her face. Holbrook flipped a page. Now, he said, onto the division of the estate. Mom leaned forward, confident. This should be simple, she said. Everything goes to me, of course. Actually, Holbrook said. Mom blinked. Twice. Holbrook read, Mary, you'll receive a small portion of my savings and full ownership of your personal belongings. But the house, the land it sits on, my investments, and the workshop, those are going to my son. The room froze. My ears rang. Kimberly gasped. Mom's face drained of color. What the hell did you just say? Mom snapped. Holbrook didn't flinch. I'm reading your husband's legally binding will, Mrs. Taylor. No. No, that's not possible, Mom said, shaking her head so fast her earrings danced. He would never, he wouldn't. He knows I need that house. Holbrook continued calmly. My daughter will receive a financial gift from one of my accounts, but not the bulk of the estate. I've made this decision because I want my son to finally have a place where he feels he belongs. A place to build a future. My sister's eyes shot toward me, wide and confused. He left you the house? She whispered. I didn't know what to say. I felt like the floor had tilted and dumped me into some alternate universe. Mom, on the other hand, looked like she was ready to flip the table. No. No, absolutely not. I am the spouse. I should get the house, the land, everything. I raised this family. I kept this home running. Holbrook nodded patiently. The house was your husband's inheritance from his parents. Legally, he had the right to assign it as he wished. This is ridiculous. Mom spat. Where is the rest? There has to be more. Holbrook passed her the remaining breakdown sheets. Mom skimmed them, her jaw clenched. Then she slammed the papers on the table like a toddler denied a toy. This is insane. He must have been confused. Or pressured. Her gaze snapped to me. You got into his head, didn't you? I blinked. Me? I didn't even know he changed anything. Liar, she hissed. You always envied Kimberly. You were jealous. You wanted to punish me. Kimberly placed a hand on her arm. Mom. Maybe Dad had his reasons. Don't defend him. Mom snapped. Your brother doesn't deserve any of this. He's irresponsible. He's immature. He can't handle property. I sat there, stunned, anger simmering. You never believed I could handle anything, I said quietly. Because you can't, Mom shot back. You'll ruin everything your father worked for. Mom, Kimberly whispered sharply. Stop. Holbrook raised a hand. I must inform you, he said. Your husband also wrote a personal letter to your son. He slid a sealed envelope toward me across the table. Mom's eyes followed it like a predator stalking prey. I want to see that, she demanded. It's addressed to him, Holbrook replied. And only him. I swallowed hard as the envelope landed in front of me. My name in Dad's handwriting stared up at me. Messy, smudged, the way he always wrote when he was in a hurry. Mom stood abruptly, chair screeching. No. No, I won't accept this. I'll contest it. You can contest it, Holbrook said. But based on how this will is structured, you'll likely lose. And you'll drain your daughter's inheritance trying. Kimberly paled. Mom, please don't. Mom glared at both of us like we'd conspired against her. This is betrayal, she snapped. Both of you, and him from the grave. Unbelievable. She stormed out, heels stabbing the carpet like she was trying to kill it. Kimberly looked between me and the door, torn. I need to talk to her, she whispered before following after her. And then it was just me and Holbrook. You okay, son? He asked gently. I don't know, I admitted. Well, take the letter. Read it when you're alone. It'll make more sense. I nodded and stood, my legs shaking slightly. As I walked out of the office and into the cold, gray morning, I looked down at the envelope in my shaky hands. Dad's final words. To me. And my mother's wrath simmering like the world's most explosive volcano. The storm wasn't over. Hell, it was just beginning. I sat in my car for a solid 10 minutes, staring at the envelope like it might burst into flames. My breath fogged the windows. My hands shook. My whole damn world had just shifted, cracked, and rearranged itself like some chaotic jigsaw puzzle. Finally, I tore the envelope open. Dad's handwriting scrawled across 2 pages. Son, I didn't tell you this because I didn't want to add more weight to your shoulders. But I knew, long before the doctors did, that my time was running out. Your mother and I, well, we lived 2 very different marriages. And you lived 2 very different childhoods. I saw how you were treated. I should have stepped in more. I'm sorry for that. My throat tightened. You didn't ask me for anything. Ever. Not money, not help, not validation. And maybe that was a mistake too. Maybe I should have made you feel like you could. But you grew into someone strong. Someone I trust. I exhaled shakily. I left you the house because you deserve a foundation. Everyone else in this family already had one. Your mother had control. Your sister had praise. You had scraps. Now you'll have something solid, something that's yours. Don't let anyone take it from you. A tear slid down my cheek before I even realized it. Your mom will be angry. She always is when she doesn't get her way. But deep down, she'll know I was right. And your sister, I hope she understands someday. But if she doesn't, don't let that weigh on you. Live your life, son, and be proud of it. I folded the letter slowly, carefully, like it was glass. Dad believed in me more than anyone ever had. More than I believed in myself most days. But the day wasn't done. Not even close. My phone buzzed. 10 missed calls from Mom. 4 from Kimberly. 3 texts. I didn't open any of them. I drove to Dad's house. My house now because I needed to see it, to breathe in the familiarity before everything turned into a battlefield. The driveway was quiet. The porch light still busted. Like Dad always promised he'd fix it tomorrow. The grass uneven. A half-finished birdhouse on the porch. Tools scattered like time had frozen mid-thought. I stepped inside. The smell hit instantly. Sawdust, old leather boots, that faint scent of engine oil Dad somehow tracked everywhere. I stood there, letting the past swallow me whole. Then the front door slammed open so hard I thought it ripped off the hinges. Mom barreled inside like a hurricane wearing perfume. You, she barked. How dare you run off instead of talking to me? I didn't run, I said calmly. I left. Conversation was over. Mom's eyes blazed. You are not taking this house. It was Dad's decision. He wasn't thinking straight. Mom, he wrote that 6 months ago. That doesn't mean anything. He was probably stressed. Or you manipulated him. I laughed. Actually laughed. Because the accusation was so ridiculous it was almost comedic. You think I could manipulate Dad? I couldn't even get him to eat salad. Don't joke with me, she snapped. This is serious. I need this house. I crossed my arms. Why? You and Dad barely shared a bedroom the last 2 years. That hit like a punch. Her eyes went cold. Frozen lake cold. You ungrateful little. Stop, I said sharply. Just stop. Kimberly stepped inside then, lingering near the doorway, her face pale, nervous. Mom, she said, please don't do this. Do what? Mom snapped. Fight for what's mine? It isn't yours, Kimberly whispered. Not legally. Not ethically. Mom stared at her like she didn't recognize her. You're siding with him? I'm siding with Dad, Kimberly said, voice trembling. He had reasons, Mom. You know he did. Mom glared at both of us, chest rising and falling rapidly. You think you're better than me? She spat. Both of you. Well, guess what? I won't let this stand. I'll fight it in court. I'll destroy that will if I have to. No, I said firmly. You won't. Mom laughed. A bitter, twisted sound. And why's that? You think you can stop me? No, I said. Dad can. I pulled the letter from my pocket, the pages slightly crumpled. This is what he wanted. This is why he did it. Mom snatched the pages out of my hands before I could stop her. Her eyes scanned the words quickly. As she read, her face twisted. Not with grief, not with love, but with fury.
Pure venomus fury.
She crumpled the letter and threw it across the room. Lies, she hissed. All lies. He didn't mean any of that. Mom, he wrote it, Kimberly said softly. He wrote it because he was manipulated. Mom shouted. He was sick and tired and confused. I felt something in me break. Not snap, not shatter, just break. You never believed in him, I said quietly. Not really. You controlled him. You nagged him. You loved the idea of power more than you loved him. Mom stared at me like she wanted to claw the words out of my throat. She pointed at me, shaking with rage. You will not take this life from me. I built it. I earned it. You owe me. I stepped forward slowly, letting every year of swallowed hurt rise to the surface. I don't owe you a damn thing, I said. Kimberly gasped softly. Mom recoiled like I'd slapped her. You ungrateful. Stop calling me ungrateful. I interrupted. I spent my whole life trying to earn something you were never going to give. Dad saw that. Dad knew what you did. And he made his choice. Mom trembled, chest heaving. You'll regret this, she whispered, voice dripping with venom. No, I said. I won't. For a moment, silence filled the house. Heavy, suffocating, final. Then Mom turned sharply and stormed out, slamming the door so hard the picture frames rattled. Kimberly stayed. She looked at me with a mixture of guilt and softness. I didn't know, she said quietly. I didn't know he felt that way. It wasn't your job to know, I said. It was his job to tell you. And mine. She nodded slowly. I'm sorry, she whispered. Me too. Then she said something I didn't expect. I think this is how it should be. Dad wasn't wrong. Tears prickled behind my eyes. Thanks. She gave me a sad smile. I'm still Mom's daughter, she said. But I'm Dad's too. I'll try to help her understand. But she may never. You know that, right? Yeah, I whispered. I know. Kimberly squeezed my arm, then left quietly. The house was silent again.
Mine.
Dad's, ours. I walked into the workshop and sat on his old stool. It wobbled like it always did. I let my hands fall into my lap and breathed in the scent of wood shavings and old oil. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel like a spare tire. I felt like someone standing on the foundation my father fought to give me. Someone with a future he believed I could build. Someone deserving. And that truth, that damn beautiful truth, filled my chest until it hurt. If you want more twisted family dramas, dark inheritance stories, or revenge-style emotional scripts like this, just say, give me another story like this. Or drop a new title. I'll craft you something even more explosive.